Coming to you from Annapolis, Maryland, home of the U.S. Naval Academy, the sailing capital of the world, home of the world's largest crab feast, and 4 signers of the Declaration of Independence. This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, a daily roundup of local news that you can use, including local sports, local events, local opinion, and local weather from DMV Weather. Now here's your host, publisher of Eye on Annapolis, John Frenaye.
Good morning, it's Friday, August 3rd, 2018. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Dr. Kofi Shaw Taylor was sentenced yesterday by Circuit Court Judge Michael Wachs for operating 2 pill mills, one in Baltimore and one in Glen Burnie, where he prescribed thousands of prescriptions to patients for powerful and addictive painkillers. The doctor received 2 5-year concurrent sentences, and he'll only have to serve 4 of them because he did 1 year in home detention immediately upon his arrest, but he pleaded guilty to Medicare fraud and for conspiracy to commit Medicare fraud. The case itself was prosecuted by the Maryland Attorney General's Office and Maryland Attorney General Brian Frosch. Speaking of courts, but this one's the Supreme Court, if Judge Brett Kavanaugh is confirmed to the Supreme Court, everybody is concerned that the Supreme Court may overturn Roe v. Wade. Maryland House Speaker Michael Busch announced yesterday that he is going to introduce a constitutional amendment protecting the right to abortion in Maryland. In a statement, Busch said, "With the Supreme Court currently hanging in the balance and increasing hostility towards women's reproductive rights by this federal administration, we must continue to ensure that a woman's right to choose is protected by the state of Maryland. An amendment to the state constitution will safeguard this important right so that it cannot be changed absent the will of the voters." In Maryland, state law does protect a woman's right to an abortion, but a constitutional amendment is much more ironclad. It would need to clear 3/5 of a vote in both the House and the Senate and be ratified by the voters in 2020. He said it's one of his priorities in next year's legislative session. It's good to be governor. It's good to be Governor Larry Hogan. It's good to be Governor Larry Hogan and like beer because you get invited to open the Guinness Brewery up in Baltimore County. And this is the first Guinness Brewery on U.S. soil in more than 60 years. The brewery does open to the public today at 3 p.m. and it sits on the refurbished site of the former Seagram's bottling plant in Baltimore County. The brewery will ultimately create 200 new jobs, and it hopes to attract 300,000 visitors in the first year alone. The Baltimore County operation will be home to the new Guinness beers, specifically created for the U.S. market, such as Guinness American Blonde Lager. However, the brand's iconic stout will still continue to be brewed in Ireland at the famed St. James Gate in Dublin. The project did cost $80 million. It began last spring, and it's located, if you're looking to go up and have a sip, at 5001 Washington Boulevard in Halethorpe, Maryland, and the hours are Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. and weekends from noon to 9 p.m. Oh, Baltimore, what are we going to do with you? A Baltimore deputy police commissioner had failed to file his business property taxes on time, despite the recent tax problems that led to the resignation of Commissioner Darrell D'Souza. The Baltimore Sun reported that Andre Bonaparte hadn't filed the taxes until Wednesday, a day after the newspaper inquired about the personal property tax returns that he hadn't filed for 2 businesses in 2017 and 1 business in 2018. Bonaparte said in a statement that his businesses have operated above board and ethically, and all, quote, clerical matters have been resolved. Hey, Deputy Commissioner Bonaparte, we're not that naive. That is about it for the top news stories. Make sure you are checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. You also want to check out the Maryland Crabs podcast because we had a great interview with MHEC Secretary of Higher Education, Dr. Jim Fielder. And that's proving to be one of the more popular podcasts that we've had with more than 2,000 downloads in less than 24 hours. If you are worried about college costs, this one is for you. Go check it out at themarylandcrabs.com. It is Friday, so listen to all of our picks for the weekend. They're coming up a little bit later. And remember our $10 discount code on Kegs in Corks Fest, which is going to be on the 18th of this month. Use the code EOA when you're checking out, and you can save $10 on every single ticket that you want to purchase. Make sure you're telling your friends about us. Make sure you're recommending us. And of course, on deck, we have George Young with your local DMV weather forecast, and he is coming up after this very brief message from Kegs and Corks.
Don't miss the best event of the summer. Come out Saturday, August 18th for the Kegs and Corks Festival at the Anne Arundel County Fairgrounds. Get tickets now at kegsandcorksfest.com to begin the party at noon instead of 1 with early access tickets. Tickets benefit the Special Olympics of Maryland and include a souvenir glass, unlimited wine and beer samples, plus live music all day, including headliner Kristen and the Noise. Enjoy over 80 Maryland wines, 40 craft beers, incredible food, and more. Go now to kegsandcorksfest.com.
This is Maryland. The weather can be nearly unpredictable. We've got George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis to sort it all out.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, August 3rd. Sooner or later, this broken record weather pattern of ours will have to break, but it's not likely that it's today or probably not tomorrow as well, as we're still looking at temps 82 to 87 degrees each day, with rain chances high enough that they have to be factored into each day's outlook and plans. But once we get into Sunday and Monday, while temps will go back up a bit into the upper 80s or even lower 90s, rain chances, while still minimally in the picture, will likely be more of just the standard variety afternoon and evening summertime storms. So while we still might get wet, it looks like a decent weekend on the whole, while Sunday is the best chance for sunshine. Okay, that's it for today. Make it a great weekend, and be sure to follow DMV Weather anywhere all the time at dmvweather.com or on social media via Twitter or Facebook, or especially on our free app that you can download from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store on all of your devices by searching for DC MDVA Weather, so you can always stay weather informed. But remember, whatever the weather outside, have fun and be safe.
September 29th, the inaugural Twist and Stout Festival at Quiet Waters Park along the shores of the South River. Twist and Stout, a Maryland wine, craft beer, music, food, and arts festival, presented by the Anne Arundel County Department of Recreation and Parks, along with the Maryland Wineries Association. Sample dozens of craft beers and Maryland wines, dance the afternoon away to the sounds of Saved by Zero and the Groove Spot Band. Watch the plein air painters and shop dozens of artisans, crafters, and food trucks. Tickets are on sale now at twistandstout.org. twistandstout.org. September 29th, Twist and Stout at Quiet Waters Park, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets at twistandstout.org. Need to make plans for the weekend? We got you covered. Here are our top picks. Be sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net to sign up for the events newsletter with a listing of all the upcoming area events.
Thank God it's
You heard it in our introduction to this podcast. Annapolis is home to the world's largest crab feast, and it is happening tonight. Yes, it is the annual Annapolis Rotary Crab Feast taking place at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. It does get underway at 5 p.m. and goes till 8 p.m. tonight. It is the largest crab feast in the world, and it's going to accommodate some 2,500 people. Tickets are $65 for adults and $25 for children, and that is the online price, which ends at noon today. If you want to buy them at the gate, they are $75 per adult and $25 per child. Well, that may be a little bit steep, but get this, you get all you can eat crabs, crab soup, corn on the cob, beef barbecue. The Rotary estimates that there will be 350 bushels of crabs, 3,400 ears of corn, 100 gallons of crab soup, 150 pounds of beef barbecue, and hundreds of gallons of soft drinks and beer. Parking at the stadium lot is free for this one, and the feast is billed as being waste-free. They've partnered with Annapolis Green to take care of all of their trash and recycling, and much of the crabs are going to be composted, which is really very cool. History buffs. Tomorrow, the James Bryce House is having a hard hat tour. Tickets are $18. They are available at annapolis.org, which is the website for Historic Annapolis. And if you've ever wondered what preservation in progress really looks like, this is the tour for you. You can take a peek behind the scaffolding at the James Bryce House, where major preservation effort is underway to restore the house to its 18th century grandeur. The public tour will take you behind the sawdust and learn about the people who built the house back then, lived in it back then, worked in it, as well as the craftsmen that are restoring it today. Sort of a unique opportunity that doesn't come around too often. I'd highly recommend that. That's on Saturday, the James Bryce House, and that gets at 10:30 a.m. until 12 p.m. Saturday night at Union Jacks, there is a fundraiser for the Capital Gazette Families Fund. This is the Uptown Fest. And actually, it's not Saturday night, it's Saturday. Gets underway at 2 p.m. and goes till 2 a.m. It is all ages until 9 p.m. There are 2 stages, one outside, one inside. Bands consistently throughout the day, a lot of local and regional bands. It will be an awful lot of fun. Tickets will be available at the door. In a similar vein, on Sunday, the Green Turtle is hosting Annapolis Strong, which is a 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. event. This will be hosted by the Next Big Thing Productions. And they also will have several bands raising money for the Capital Gazette Families Fund. Sunday is also the first Sunday of August, so that means it is the First Sunday Arts Festival. Again, gets underway at noon on the first block of West Street. It's really kind of overflowed. It's kind of into the second and third blocks of West Street at this point because it's so popular, as well as that block on Calvert Street. They do have a farmer's market now. Entertainment everywhere pretty much that you turn around. On Sunday, you're going to be able to see Dana and the Deadpen, Cavusi and the Typos, Mac and Blue, the Arundel Chorus, Go Mod Go, Juliet Lloyd, and of course the kids from Pretty Music Academy who do a great job there. And finally, kind of an interesting event going on Sunday. And this is Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6:30 p.m. put on by our friends at Capital SUP. And it's titled Paddle, Paint, and Pour with Boardman Designs in Great Frogs Winery. Judging from the headline, I would say that is stand-up paddleboarding while you're painting and pouring wine. Doesn't sound like it mixes too well, but that's really not what it is. It is a paddle, and then afterwards you get to sit on the banks of Spa Creek. You will do some painting with Boardman Designs, as well as sipping Great Frogs wines. You can sign up for this event at fairharbor.com, and that's FAREHARBOR. That is the tickets. And you can find more information at capitalsup.com. That is about it for the weekend. Whatever you end up doing this weekend, please do it safely. If you're out drinking, please drink responsibly. If you're out driving, please drive responsibly. If you're out drinking and driving, just don't do that. Call Lyft or Uber. We want to see you here on Monday, but until then, have a great one.
Thanks for listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. If you like what you heard, make sure to tell your friends and colleagues about it. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find much more. Be sure to check out our other weekly podcast, The Maryland Crabs. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.